Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at a dice game with a Bible animal theme to it. Up next. What is up everyone? This is Everything Board Games and I am your host, Techno Funk Boy. So it's been a little while, and for those of you who do follow the channel, I've had a little bit of a change of scenery. I'm up here visiting a family for a while. Kind of the good news is I got to spend some time with the kids, trying out some fun games that I'm looking forward to telling you about. So, if you have been following this channel, you might have seen some previous videos where I reviewed some card games from Bible Games Central. Today we have another game from Bible Games Central. This one is actually a dice-based game, and it's called Bible Animals Click Clack Match. Now, in the effort of full disclosure, that game was provided to me from Bible Games Central for the purposes of doing this review. So let's get started with it. The basic premise of the game is that you are going to have a few cards on the table, 3 cards for the table. These cards are going to have, first of all, different point values on them, but also different animals listed on them. The point values will vary based on the difficulty of completing the card, and you'll always have 3 of them. So whoever finishes the card is going to win the card and the points. You start rolling the dice, and on these dice, you'll roll 5 at a time, and they're going to have various animal shapes on them. Match them up with the card of your choice. You can only on your turn you can only work on the one card, while trying to avoid the frowny face on that. Your turn keeps going until you collect 3 of these frowny faces. Now, these are persistent, so if you roll 1, you set it aside, you keep this one. And as soon as you get 3, then your turn is over. You can also just end your turn. I don't understand why you would do that, but it is an option. So normally you keep going until you get those 3, and then you pass it off to someone else. As I say, you keep working on the. Everybody collectively works on the card until one person wins the points, and then at a certain point threshold, the game is over, and somebody has won. So, on the good side of this game, this is pretty fast-paced, kind of exciting game, and I noticed when I was playing with the kids, there was a lot of excitement in just the natural motion of the game. I mean, look, anytime you have a dice roll, there's an inherent tension in that dice roll that it could be great, it could be average, it could be very, very bad, and watching the dice go. One of the elements of the game that I actually thought was pretty good was the building of those frowny face cards, because normally, first roll, the chances of you getting 3 of those are minuscule, and so you're not that worried about it until you're going. But as soon as you get 1, then that any roll could be your last, and especially as you have 2, and you see one of those big ticket cards on the table, and it's got all of the matches made except 1 or 2, and that any roll could be an immediate end of your turn, or it could be 20 points right there. That kind of building of tension as your turn progresses, I thought was really good. And so the kids ended up having a lot of fun with it, and I think I had fun mostly watching them having fun with it. But the game moves very, very quickly, and it is listed for, six and up for 15 minutes. I think our games were going actually a lot quicker than that, and it isn't a game that has a lot of strategy in it, and so there's not a lot of sitting there looking at your cards or looking at your dice or whatever the case may be. There's not a lot of consideration. You're just moving. Now, part of that is a bad thing, right? Like, I tend to like games with a little bit of strategy with it. This to me is going to kind of fit that place in my collection where you're wanting something quick, easy, that you don't necessarily want to think a lot about. It is certainly not going to be something that I'm going to pull out on a serious board game night, but as getting off of work and the kids want to play something, and dinner's in the oven for another 20 minutes, playing a couple of rounds of this is going to be a really good way to kind of keep energy high, keep morale high, the house high, and to get going on things. So the other thing about this game that I do want to address is that if you're looking at Bible Game Central, then you're probably like me. As a Christian father, I do look for games that that I can. I mean, first of all, games that you can play with the kids and still enjoy them. But if while I don't. I'm not necessarily looking for games to have kind of a didactic element, a teaching element for the kids. If it's a fun game that I can use, then that's kind of a bonus. The games at Bible Game Central, do to one degree or another have some sort of built-in lesson. Some of them are very clear and very easy to work off of, and some of them are thematic only. This one seemed to be thematic only. So like the animals on here, like you have like a lion, the dove, the lamb, and the cow. And all of these seem very, very obvious to me. The cow actually had me running to scripture, running to the instructions to figure out why in the world that it is there. It does have a page on some of some of the stories that deal with these types of animals from Scripture, and it's not exhaustive, but it is it is kind of the tie-in. The cow part, the cow is according to this a reference to Pharaoh's dream that Joseph interpreted of the skinny cows and the fat cows, and I thought that was a bit of a stretch, but at the same time, this is going to be one of those games that very much has a family oriented, tangentially biblical theme going for it, while not necessarily having a real didactic element to it. So I did think that it might be useful as I'm going through these games, because I do have a few more of the Bible Game Central games that I'm trying out and will be reviewing. But as we go, as we're kind of collecting these, because if you are looking for these type of games, this is probably going to be the comparison that you're looking for. As we go, we're going to do quick comparisons of the games that we have reviewed, and we'll just kind of keep adding to the list. So as far as our new game goes, this one is going to be very, very quick, very, very energetic, not really much strategy, not really much that you can sink your teeth into, but might be worthwhile. Might be worthwhile as as something to play, to burn off some energy, to kind of be one of those quick and easy games that are short, intense, and a lot of fun. The game is not going to have much to it that you're going to be able to teach the kids off of, and so if that's something you're looking for, probably the better game to look at is Parable Parade. So of the games that I've reviewed so far, this has the most didactic element to it, in that you're actually building the stories of the parables, and while you can play it straight as a game, you can also use it to explain the parables of Jesus in it. A bit more strategy, a bit more thinking in it. It has a similar age and time range, the 6+ in about 15 minutes, as does the Good Shepherd. This one is actually my family's favorite so far. This one is actually really solid, very fun game. About 15 minutes, 6+, that the kids actually request. They have requested multiple times, and so that's the one they really love. Like the Bible Animals game, it has a biblical theme, but not a lot that you can teach off of. And so if that's what you're looking for, Parable Parades is the one that I think the kids are going to enjoy. It is going to have some of the strategy element to it, and it's going to be something that you can talk about, that really has the message kind of built in, and you can work off of that in as far as a lesson goes. And so that is that. Like I said, we got a couple more of these to take a look at, and so I will be back very soon to take a look at that. And otherwise, really appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe. We have a number of reviews, both written and video, at everythingboardgames.com. The links to Bible Game Central and Bible Animals Click Clack Match will be in the description. And otherwise, I thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next time. See you.